Southeast LA. This is Giuliano, and fortunate to have Rob here. We're here at our first televised podcast, February 9th, a little after 8 o'clock. You guys should be getting home, coming around, and really want to engage the community. Have a fortune of being here with our sponsors, Rosie's Financial. Thank you, Rosie, for allowing us to use your space. And Grub Market, they're actually one of the vendors here. So want to take time and get to meet one of our leaders that's really changing our community and just hear what you got to say, bro. What's up, Rob?
Man, doing really good, Giuliano. Thanks for having me on. It's grateful to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about you, man. I'm starting to get to know you, but what do you want to let the people know in our community about you, man?
Yeah. Well, my name's Rob. I've grown up here in Lynwood my whole life. This is where I'm from. And I'm teaching yoga to the community. So that's something that's just come along my path. I'm a yoga teacher. It's what I'm certified, trained to do. And I want to bring it here because this is a community that everyone can use it, but there's not much access to it. So for me, it's just part of my mission to bring it here.
Yeah. So it's been pretty cool getting to know you and focus on personal development, wellness, business.
Mm-hmm.
So how did this all come about? How did we meet? How did you come up to be part of the Sela Biz team?
Oh, okay. Well, I met Giuliano and Ruben through the Lynwood Business Expo, actually. That's where I first met you guys, and really cool. Had nothing but support from the beginning. Just started connecting and promoting each other's different events and my classes, and I appreciate that from you guys. Yeah, that's where that started.
So this group does bring superhero powers, and we're going to be pulling them out of you. But if you had a superhero power, Rob, what would that be, man?
My superhero power would be my ability to help melt away stress for you guys.
That'll work.
That's kind of my forte.
Can you help with this Longhas too?
We can help with Longhas, yeah. But it's a diet one too, man.
Yeah. So yeah, we're really here to just engage the community, try something different, try and bring the businesses, try and bring our community, but all focus on living a personal lifestyle. Rob has been doing that. So what's the wisdom of today, man? If you had something to share with everybody and let people know, you do that all the time, but
cool.
Get that wisdom out, man.
All right. I guess my purpose here is to demystify yoga a little bit, because it is a life transformative practice. It's something that can literally change your life, and I'll share a little bit about my story and how I came to it. I'm from Lynwood. I played guitar a little earlier, but I was always in bands, drinking a lot, partying, going to shows, going to parties, and just doing my thing. And when I was about 19, 20, I've been playing guitar since I was about 10 years old, and I started to develop carpal tunnel, where I would not have function of my hands properly, and that was very devastating for me, as a young man, to not be able to do what I love to do, which is play the guitar. So I heard yoga can help out with that, and I kind of just started exploring, doing some stretches at home, eventually sought out a class, and that just led me on this path of discovery that's still going, and I'm playing guitar, as you can see, going from that place where I wasn't able to play, living a very unhealthy lifestyle, and just learning so much about life and what's really important. And as I started doing that, I decided, you know what, I want to be a teacher. I like this stuff so much that I want to share it with other people. So I began teaching, and this was just boom, instant passion, totally loved doing it. And that's what I've just been following on. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how you got certified to teach yoga.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So I'm here at my mom's house at the time, maybe 2010. It was about that time. And I had a yoga magazine that I found, and then I saw this studio. It said Black Dog Yoga, Teacher Training, Sherman Oaks. And that was the first moment that I was oh, okay, I could be a yoga teacher one day. And I saw Black Dog Yoga, it's Led Zeppelin song, so I had a connection. And then I was Sherman Oaks, when the hell am I going to be over there? That's so far from where I'm at. But I just kept that thought there. I eventually wrote down I'm going to be a yoga teacher one day. Wrote it down on a paper. And it's amazing how these turn of events happen, because I ended up moving in with my girlfriend in North Hollywood, and I ended up getting a job at the store that happened to be right next door to Black Dog Yoga. Part of my job was to go to the storage unit, and I would pass by Black Dog Yoga every time. And while I was working there, I was able to save up the money, do the training, and that's one of my home studios. That's like where I go. That's my community. That's where I did my training. That's where my best teachers are from, my friends. You know, it's such a great place, and that's where I got certified. Taught yoga in the Valley for a little while, and moved back to Lynwood and started bringing it here with a donation class at the park. Yeah.
So, talk a little bit about like what the RYT is it?
Yeah, RYT.
Okay.
That's a registered yoga teacher. It's basically it's like a training. What would you call it? Like it's a certification standard is what it is, and that's through Yoga Alliance, and they're like an independent like yoga collective that they're not like mandated by any specific regulations, but they're all people that know yoga, that really like can bring out the benefits, know its origins, and make it applicable to you and me day to day. You know, it's an ancient Indian practice, and we're doing it now in Lynwood, so it's like, okay, how do we take this ancient philosophy, break it down, and apply it to this community? And that's what the Yoga Alliance is doing, that's what teachers in our generation are doing, and I really love it because it's like yoga has been evolving for so many years, and right now, even the people doing yoga in Lynwood, you doing your yoga practice is the evolution of yoga. So your insights, your discoveries along your journey, it's not just stretching. You don't have to be flexible to do it. It's a personal practice where you're doing the stretches, you're doing the movement, mostly working in coordination with your breath, and through that, you learn to care for your body, you learn to embody yourself, you learn to use the body, and you do it from a non-judgmental way. And that's because so many people have such like negative feelings about themselves or their bodies that when they come to do these poses, they're like, oh, their head is just like, oh my God, I suck, you know, or I'm so out of shape, or whatever the self-talk is that's just bringing you down. Yoga starts to combat that, and when you do that in your yoga practice, you begin to take it out of your yoga practice and into real life. So when you're on the freeway and you're stuck in traffic and you're super stressed out, you can like let a breath out and just kind of find your center. And those are where some of the real gems of yoga come from.
And when somebody is, let's say, looking to start yoga,
Mm-hmm.
right? What are some of the advice, tips that you could give somebody who's looking to start, to get their foot in the door? Whether it's maybe getting a DVD, going on YouTube, whatever.
Yeah, great question. Just go. Show up. Try it out. It's not as crazy as you might think. A lot of people have conceptions like, oh, yoga will contradict my religion, or yoga it's for people that are super flexible and bendy. Not true. My 74-year-old grandma was in class on Wednesday, and she came up with a walker to class. Grandma.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, props, Grandma. But for those of you starting out, you can get yourself a decent mat at Ross for like $10. Not crazy. Get yourself a mat. Come to class. Whether you're in Lynwood or you're in another community of Southeast LA, there's more yoga beginning to pop up, and love that. Let your teacher know. Go in and say, hey, you know what? This is my first yoga class. Totally new, little intimidated, but I want to try it out. I heard it's good for me. And that will do wonders for your first class experience, because as a teacher, if you were to come tell me that, I would say, okay, awesome, I'll give you a few pointers, like ask about any injuries, something to let your teacher know if you're dealing with injuries. Amazing what you can do for yourself just letting the teacher know, because they can help you modify and make your yoga practice feel like, oh, okay, I can do this, rather than something like, oh, that's too hard, or I have this physical limitation that's holding me back. So get a mat at Ross, Marshall's, wherever. Show up and let your teacher know you're new. And if someone tells me they're new, I would like pay extra attention to them, give them the pointers, and it's just natural as teachers, like that's what we're taught to do, to pay attention to the newbies, give them the support so that they can have a good experience. Yeah.
Where can I show up? Like,
Okay.
let's say I'm at 24-hour Fitness, right? They have their yoga classes. For me, I don't do yoga often, but I don't feel comfortable doing yoga at 24. Or should I go to a Bikram yoga studio in Anaheim? Or, how do I choose where to go?
That's a great question too. So yoga today has such a variety to choose from, which is excellent because yoga is an individual process, it's an individual practice and lifestyle. So your yoga is going to be different from my yoga, it's different from Giuliano's, and that's how it is. So if you go to a class and you don't look exactly like your neighbor, that's fine. So to your question, 24-hour fitness has a more athletic approach to yoga. They take out all the spiritual components. There's different rules and stipulations on teachers who teach at gyms as opposed to teaching at a yoga studio. So if you're interested in the more spiritual dimension of yoga, you go to a yoga studio and you kind of seek out the teachers that are that style. Most yoga studios, they have like a trial period where you would pay $20 for 2 weeks of unlimited classes or $30 for the month, something like that, just to try them out. And then with that trial, you can try out every teacher, see which one resonates with you. And that's kind of the best thing because everyone has their own flavor, their own style, and you feel into that by going to their class. It's like, okay, I like this about this class, or that one was a little too fast-paced or a little too slow motion. You find the one that's right for you. So if you've been to a yoga class and you didn't really think it was for you, don't give up on it because every teacher is different. And that's where you show up. You go to the studio, you go to the gym. I went to gyms for a little while to start, and it was good. And I actually found some teachers that were like amazing, and I found some other ones that were like obviously just starting out or kind of more into the fitness element. And for me, I like the whole body-mind integration. I like that whole practice of yoga. So my classes are a little more meditative. There's a meditation quality to them, but we still work, we still move, we still get the action from yoga.
What would I be expecting to pay? Let's say, like you mentioned, usually it's like a $20 trial fee.
Yeah.
I know your class costs a certain amount, but if I'm in another area, what's like the average, what your cost is, etc.
All right, so gyms, obviously the classes in the studios like that, the gyms, LA Fitness 24 hours, they're included with your membership. So if you're already a member of a gym, try out the yoga class, talk to the teacher, see how you like it. If you want more of the meditation side, you can hit up a yoga studio. There's some around, like from here you have Long Beach, or going more towards Downey, Lakewood area, there's some present there. The classes there, they range from like a single class, you'll pay like $18 for a single, which can be a little pricey, but the more classes you buy, the cheaper it gets. So if you were to buy 30 classes, it would come out to $10 a class. If you were to buy 20, it'd be more like 11 a class. So they kind of, the more you buy, the cheaper it gets. Yoga in Lynwood, I charge $7 per class, and then I have a rate where if you buy a package, I give you a discount on it. So my 4-pack is $25, $7 per class for the single, and I did that intentionally to make it more accessible. I'd rather you show up than say, oh, yoga's too expensive, I'm not going to do it. So I teach at other studios that charge $18 a class for the same class that I'm teaching here in Lynwood, but I wanted to make it accessible to this community. Yeah.
Good info.
Yeah, I do a free class on Sunday mornings as well at Ham Park. That's on Atlantic by the 105. Right here in Lynwood, there's a free class. I accept donations, but that one's a community class. If the finances are an issue, come for free, no problem. You're more than welcome.
Thank you. And Ron's one of our members of the Sela Biz group, really trying to get the community involved, focusing on wellness, business, and having it here rather than going outside. Everything's about local in our community, so thanks, Rob. Thanks for what you're doing.
You're welcome.
What is, from yoga, right, what is probably the biggest takeaway, right?
Okay.
The last pearl of wisdom, the best thing that you've ever had from yoga.
Okay. What I would say to that is, it's not just yoga, it's life. What it is the purpose and meaning you give it, that's where the power comes from. So if you go to yoga class and expect, okay, I'm just going to do what the teacher tells me to do and hopefully I'm better, But if you go to yoga and you have the mindset that's like, I am doing this for me, or I am taking time out of my busy week for myself, or I am here to cultivate a sense of peace. Whatever your intention that you put into it, that's where the real power comes from. So yoga is an intentional practice. It's not just a fitness routine. It's not just a workout. It's taking the time, and it's as simple as that. Just knowing that thought in your mind that's like, hey, I'm here for me. And then from that, you're like, okay, I'm showing up for myself. But as I'm doing that, I'm making myself a better person to be there for my family, to be there for the people I come into contact with. That's the kind of the mindset, the intentionality. That's where the gem of yoga, that's where it is.
I think that's really awesome. For a while, I did mostly workouts, functional workouts, and I was all about movement and going through a bunch of things. And I met a woman by the name of Stacy Barrows.
Okay.
Very awesome woman. She does physical therapy, and she uses the Feldenkrais method, and that was my introduction to conscious movement. Very conscious. That same intention that you're talking about was it's very transformative. I started thinking about like the whole world and how I interacted with it in the most minute ways, and it was amazing. So I totally feel where you're coming from with that intention of movement, that intention of your practice and everything. It's amazing. That feeling is awesome.
And also that your physiology, we're ultimately we're working on behavior. Like that's kind of what we come around to being your best self, to showing up. And sometimes you wake up and you don't feel good. You might feel like crap some days, and that's part of life. You know, we're not going to ultimately never feel bad again, but through a practice that you do daily, ideally, if you can get up and do a little yoga every day, you start to change your habits of being. So you wake up, you do your little 15 minutes of yoga, you know, if you can get it in, and then you feel different. You move your body, your physiology changes, and then you are literally a different person than you were if you just woke up and drank a cup of coffee, grabbed a donut, and now here I am, world, you know? You don't have to, but if you want to, you get up and you take care of yourself, and those different movements, those breathing techniques, they change the way you feel. And then the way you feel influences the way you think, and that influences the way you speak and the way you are. So it is a life-transforming practice, and that's why we do it, that's why we share it.
Cool.
Sela Biz, we focus on transformation and reflection of who you are. You know, we look at organizations, we look at who you are as an individual. Rob is one of our champions in our community, really focusing on transformation and elevating yourself. And I think you're going to be going next week to the Tony Robbins event.
Yeah, I'll
too.
definitely be there.
Yeah, we're on February 16th. Mark your calendar next Thursday at 6:30 in Southgate at the American Legion. One of Tony Robbins' teams, Jason Nelson's going to be talking on peak performance, walking us through behaviors of life and choosing the right wolf to feed, let's say, but it's really focusing on transformation. Yoga is definitely a cool flavor to that, and that's what we're about here, trying to get you to transform, look at yourself, and take that action and change. Thanks, Big Rob.
Can we do some asanas?
Absolutely, yeah.
Can we demonstrate some stuff?
Yeah. So we'll give you a free yoga sample for the watchers and listeners today. Something, and also if we have like show notes, we can put a link to a video, like a small home practice that that I made before, and you can show them so they can have like another resource there.
Roger.
Roger. Yeah. Yoga mat from Walmart. Doesn't really matter as long as you feel comfortable. Thickness, would do better. If it's a thicker mat, you'll have more cushion and support for the knees. Is this like a good space? Are you able to see?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. we looking, Ruben?
If you could bring it back a little bit, get as close to the wall as you can.
Think I'm there?
Fine. Let's get you back over here. That should be good.
Right here? Okay. Alright. We ready?
Yep, we're ready.
Alright, hey guys. So again, I'm Rob, the yoga teacher here from Lynwood, and my intention with this video is to give you a little snippet of a yoga routine that if you got up and do this every day, you can start to integrate yoga into your life, and this alone is enough to give you many benefits, mostly spinal flexion and extension and just keeping your body healthy, warming you up for the day. They're called sun salutations, and I'll demonstrate it and I'll break it down and walk you through it. I suggest to do the whole thing 3 times a day. It's very short, you'll see, but 3 times is enough. What you'll do when you come to your yoga mat, you'll set your feet parallel. I'm not sure if you can see, but my toes are not pointed out like we normally stand. Normally people stand kind of like this. For yoga practice, you'll turn your toes slightly in, heels like right behind your toes so you have a nice stable base. And then you'll place that right at the front of your yoga mat, bend the knees a little bit just so that they're not locked, and then turn the palms forward. And when I do this, it's just to encourage my shoulders to start to open up. When you open the chest, you're more open, more receptive in life. That's kind of the idea here. I would suggest close the eyes and then come into your intention. It could be really simple at first. I'm showing up this morning for myself, taking some time for my body. We'll breathe in, bringing the arms up overhead. Breathe out, forward fold, flat back, bend the knees, all the way down, and I let my head and neck relax at the bottom. Place my hands on my shins, inhale, lengthen my spine straight forward, coming to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And I'm including a lunge here. If you bend your knees and place your hands back by your heels, your hands will be in alignment when you step your foot back. So we'll start stepping the left foot back, big step back. My front knee is right over my front ankle, and my front toes are pointed straight forward. My back foot, the heel is lifted and pressing back. I'll take a breath in here. I'll breathe out. Plant the hands, step back to plank, top of a push-up position. And then I'll take a breath in. When you exhale, this is a lowering down move. You shift forward. Notice how my shoulders move forward past my wrists. And then I'll bend my elbows coming all the way down. Elbows stay in by the ribs. Tops of my feet press down. Inhale, lifting my heart up, pulling my shoulders back. Exhale, all the way up and back. Downward dog position. And we're here 3 breaths. For down dog, it's important that the feet are also parallel. The hands are completely flat, so the palms, you need to flatten them out as much as you can. Really spread the fingers. If you look at your knees, you bend your knees slightly, press your chest in as you lift your hips up. This is an excellent pose to lengthen the spine, lengthening the back of your legs. And if you're pressing the hands, you can even open the shoulders and the chest here. Big breath in, breath out. So I stepped the left foot back the first time. My right foot was forward. Now I'm going to step my left foot forward. So the same lunge position, only the legs are switched. Hands are in line with the front heel. My front toes are pointed straight forward. My front knee is right over the ankle. I'll breathe in to lengthen my spine. Breathe out here. Take a step forward. I'll forward fold in, letting all of my breath out. Hands onto the shins. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands up overhead. And exhale, hands to the heart. So that was kind of step by step, each little piece along the way. I'll flow through it one time so you can see what it looks like just in unison. And then I'll break it down another time so you have the details. most important thing is that the breath is moving the body. So it's almost like when I breathe in, if I was just standing like this, the breath opens me up like. It's this subtle feeling of the breath. And then we just begin to exaggerate it with our movement. So I'll breathe in, arms come up, I'll just go through it. So that is the full sequence. Sun salutation. Breath moving the body. The breath is the most important piece. So if you're finding when you come to the push-up position, knees down, knees can come down if you can't hold yourself up and breathe steadily. I'll do one more time with the breakdown just so that you have all the pieces, and then try it out. And if not, you always can put my info down, give me a Facebook message, and I'll walk you through it if you need. But feet parallel, starting from the ground up. Your feet, equal weight in both of your feet. Little bend in the knees so they're not locked. Chest open, palms facing forward. Crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. Inhale the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen your spine. Hands come onto your knees or your shins. Exhale, forward fold. Place the hands down by your heels. Take a big step back with your left foot. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, make your legs strong. Plant the hands, step back to plank. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra, lifting the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then stay here for 3 breaths. Plant the palms flat. Press your heels towards the ground. Continue to press your chest in towards your legs. Look forward at your hands. Take a step forward with your left foot. And a lot of times people can't step all the way forward. So if you go here, grab a hold of your foot, bring it forward, and then take a breath into your lunge. Exhale. Big step forward. All the breath comes out as you forward fold in. Hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. If you could do that every day, you'd be doing a wonderful gift to your body. I feel great. Like my back, my legs are open, my spine feels stretched out, my breath is full. It's just a nice thing to do. And Google search sun salutations if you need any more information on that. Give it a try. I challenge you. Give it a try and see how you feel after it. 3 times. Sun salutation.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you guys.
Thanks, bro.
You got it.